Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Digital Lounge. And today we've got a special higher education edition of the Digital Lounge. We're going to be talking about continual professional development. Every university in the UK talks about the importance of student experience, but have they focused enough attention on the experience for professional students? And given the revenue potential in that sector, um, maybe there's more that they could do. We're going to be discussing all of that today on the Digital Lounge. Welcome and happy Valentine's Day. We're live today, 14th of February 2024. And as I say, this is a special edition focused on higher education. Joining me today is Raj Pandya and Madeline Masters. Welcome both. How you both doing? Did you get Valentine's cards, either of you? I'm still waiting.
I'm still waiting too, Mark. You're not
Oh,
alone.
dear me, dear me. Well, hopefully we'll have some people listening in live today that can leave comments and offer Valentine's wishes anyway. So, as I say, it's live and interactive, where we are welcoming your questions around the nature of CPD. So, I suppose first of all, let's just set the scene. I mean, we're a Microsoft partner. We work with universities already. But we're seeing a few challenges out there, Raj, just around what people are doing today.
Yeah, so within the CPD world, the teams tend to be smaller in size compared to other university teams, and therefore there's a lot of administrative challenges if the systems aren't in place. Some of the examples are like obviously you're setting up courses, for instance, you're liaising with academic tutors to say actually which courses you're going to be delivering, other courses online, face to face, etc. So again, all of those are kind of information that you're gathering, and if the systems aren't in place, you're working with Excel spreadsheets.
Mm,
And then on top of that, obviously, you're looking at payments, taking
mm,
in payments, liaising with administrations, refunds. The students
mm,
are international, making sure the student journeys are working well for them. And obviously, from a CPD team's perspective, not all universities do that.
mm,
Simply, so the ones that do that want to provide a really good student experience, and in order to do that, they need to have systems in place. And I think
mm,
that's one of the things that I found is lacking in some of the universities that I've worked with.
mm.
And I think that's the I feel that that's one of the key challenges that we're looking to address with our CPD solution that we have, that it expands as the team grows within the business as well.
Yeah, and I think there's the backdrop, isn't there, of Madeline, of an economy that's changing very quickly. There are statistics out there about Gen Z and how they'll be changing careers multiple times over the course of their working life. So that must be putting added pressure onto these teams, but also a massive opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think a lot of people are starting to explore what other skill sets they could gather, and that learning opportunity is huge, and having something that allows them to access it quite simply is a real plus. And I think there's not a lot of visibility often for those kind of activities. So having something that a university can kind of go, this is a really simple way for you to learn and improve your skills, is a massive benefit for them.
Mm. And I think just before we went live as well, Raj, something that caught me by surprise, but it makes sense, is this isn't just a domestic opportunity; it's international. Given how many students we're bringing into the UK from overseas as well, of course, it makes sense that they'll want to continue maybe their professional studies with the institutions that they graduated with.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, with CPD courses, they could be on-demand courses, but also face to face. So again, it's just managing that expectation from a student's perspective, and you know, again, there's some
Mm,
nuances involved in that as well. But yeah, the
right.
opportunity is massive.
Okay, so let's dig in a little bit into the solution that you've been working on with UK universities, Raj. I mean, could you just briefly explain some of the technology behind Crimson Zone CPD management solution?
Yeah, so as you said, we're a Microsoft partner, so we're leveraging the Microsoft Power Platform. as the on which we've built our solution. In the or under the covers, essentially, we're using Dataverse from a database design perspective, but obviously low code, no code technology. So we're embracing that. Overlaying that, we are using the Power Pages portal. So that's the front door to the students and bookers to come in. Then we are integrating with the payment gateway, as well as a learning portal that our universities typically have a learning portal anyway. So essentially, we're integrating that. So from a student experience perspective, it's seamless, and we're using obviously Azure as a system of choice to integrate with the payment providers as well as the learning providers systems.
Fantastic. And Madeline, I mean, you're at the coalface with commercially with customers. Can you describe some of the benefits that they're recognizing with this kind of solution?
Yeah, of course. I think it's kind of a little bit twofold. So I think one of them is around actually how we approach the delivery of the solution. So we traditionally work in agile sprints and we use our solution accelerators. So well, I just kind of talked a little bit about it then, but they're essentially pre-configured components that allow us to really deliver a bit faster and prove that ROI quicker. So we've said that this is a huge market, and I think it's one that if we can prove that value, you can get a lot of velocity going through it. So, for example, we're looking to deliver those MVPs in around 6 months at the moment. So I think that's a huge benefit in working in that model. Also leveraging that Microsoft stack. So the solution itself is relatively flexible. You can kind of unify the operations that you already have. So I think a lot of universities will have a footprint within Microsoft, and leveraging that further in these kind of solutions means that you can have that overall umbrella of that kind of Microsoft platform, but also take advantage of those enhancements. So we mentioned earlier around things like AI. How does that fit in the wider roadmap? And how does it fit across the wider student life cycle as well? So CPD is, one part of that, but how can we kind of use both that methodology and that underlying technology to really improve and drive a better student life cycle and journey for them?
It's almost like I think the Tesla say it's that it's the worst experience you'll have with your car the day you buy it. It only gets better from there, and it's similar with this platform by the sounds of it in terms of how it can evolve beyond the solution that you have initially. So Raj, could you explain a little bit around simplifying that course management process that people on the call may recognize?
Yeah, so I think if you think about course management, CPD teams don't work in isolation. They work with other parts of the business, like any business does work. So what we're doing is providing a way to manage courses. So that could be dealing with finances, because obviously, you can have free courses, but they are paid for courses as well. You also have, from a courses perspective, you also tend to work with academic tutors. So the tutors that are delivering courses. As I said earlier, courses can also be face-to-face. So if it is face-to-face courses or on-campus courses, then you need to work with facilities to actually arrange a location. So it involves a lot of things within there. So our solution caters for all of that within the Power Platform that we've built. And the other aspect of it is obviously not all universities work in the same way. So we've got the ability to customize and enhance the solution as and when we need. So that's the simplification of the solution from a CPD perspective, but also we can expand or extend that to integrate with Teams, Microsoft Office applications that we have, depending on the maturity of the universities that we work with.
Okay, and I mentioned right at the top of the show about student experience. How does this solution help with facilitating that student interaction and making sure communication's as good as it can be?
Yeah, so in terms of the student interaction, the students from our solution perspective get onto the portal, and typically what they want to do is pick courses and register the courses. But obviously, there could be more than that essentially. And let's say they've got inquiries about courses, so questions about courses. They want to ask those questions about those typical courses. They could also want to register their interest on a course, for instance. So all of the actual course journey, as well as obviously paying for the courses. So what we've done is we've added a shopping basket experience from a student perspective. Now, student could be booking courses for themselves, but more than likely you could have companies booking courses on behalf of a number of people within the business, for instance. So we've also tailored that experience as well. So you've got the booker experience as well as a learner experience within the portal. And once they've paid, if it's a free course, obviously they'll get access to the learning portal. But obviously, if it's a paid course, they pay for the courses and get access to the learning portal immediately as well, as part of simplifying the student experience from that perspective.
Fantastic. And we've talked about the big opportunity in the market to grow this revenue for a university, Madeline. But how can this platform help with marketing and campaigning?
Yeah, so we've kind of said it's a really flexible solution. So we've talked about how it can integrate across multiple different payment platforms, Office, platforms as well, but also the marketing. So the solution can integrate with the solutions and the platforms that the university have, and that can facilitate anything from specific marketing campaigns. So that could be your student attraction strategies that increase that course visibility and that enrollment rate, which is kind of something we were saying a lot of the time, people having access to that is a major thing. So that marketing campaign, event management as well. So having workshops or conferences that enhance that engagement and those networking opportunities. So things like Raj just said about an organisation getting a number of them, having that kind of event access to facilitate that visibility. And then also social media. So I think we know that having access in that social media integration can reach a really wide audience and a lot of different diverse learners as well. But I think really what it's about is understanding what is the marketing strategy for the university and how do we then nurture those leads in that model across kind of all of those different platforms, more traditional ways at events, but also in that social media presence too.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, just for the benefit of our listeners who like to consume this on audio podcasts, we do have a LinkedIn community called Crimson University. If you do search for that on LinkedIn, you can join other university professionals and share your experience on there. Raj, so we've touched on invoices and payments. This system itself doesn't manage payments, but it can integrate. Is that correct?
Yeah, typically, if you think about universities, they work with different payment providers. So what we've done is we've enabled the integration with whichever payment provider it is. We're using the standard Microsoft technology from an integration perspective. So Azure is what we're using, but obviously, depending on what payment gateway the universities are using, we can integrate into that. And that could also be said for learning systems as well. So, universities tend to use different learning providers as well. So again, the technology is standard from our perspective. It's just understanding what it is that they're using and how they want to leverage the integrations.
Right. Okay, and I suppose a big thing now, given that it must be generating a lot of data in the background, this system, and there must be some insights there that can help help the teams make decisions to evolve their strategy, if you like, around CBD. Could you let's go to you, Madeline, first. Have you got some examples of data insights and what you can get from the platform?
Yeah, I think what you just said, Mark, is the kind of really important thing. So in any solution, you can gather so much data, but it's actually what do you do with that data once you've got it? How do you actually use it to make actionable kind of decision-driven, kind of data-driven decision? So I think particularly for universities, understanding the patterns of behaviour and the interactions across the university to build a better view of that student is really important. Within the CPD solution itself, you can create customizable dashboards that represent this data in a suitable way. So that can be with different audiences or different needs depending on it to make those informed decision making. So that could be things like what courses are you wanting to do? How's the learning? What are the payment profiles? Any changes that need to be made? And then easing that process for those typically smaller CPD teams. But I know, Raj, you've kind of worked around the Power BI element of it as well. So you might have some other examples too.
Yeah, so as Madeline touched upon, so out of the box, obviously from a platform perspective, you can get views, dashboards that the teams can leverage. But as we know, every team may have slightly different requirement from a reporting perspective. So the underlying data is captured. So it's just us leveraging and understanding what those specific requirements are from those teams that we are dealing with to actually capture those reporting requirements. So we can use Power BI as an add-on.
Mm. Okay, yeah, and extensible again, given the nature of the platform. Okay, I suppose let's turn our attention now to some very recent work that we've been doing with Newcastle University. Really keen. I appreciate this is hot off the press, so getting return on investment very early on is always a difficult thing to ask. But could you, Madeline, if I could turn to you first of all, describe some of the outcomes that they're experiencing already with this CPD project?
Yeah, if I give a little bit of context of what the project is as well. So we have worked with Newcastle University for a number of years now, and we've worked kind of in that agile sprint methodology. But what we were engaged in kind of July, August time of last year around specifically the CPD work package. So timeline wise, we did a soft go live in December, and we're doing kind of a full portal and CRM go live at the end of February. So like you said, Mark, kind of some of those quantifiable benefits are still being gathered, but what we can already see is a huge kind of set of feedback from the business and from IT about what are those improvements going to be when you compare what the current solution was and what the new solution was. Raj, I think if talk through the kind of current versus that new state, some of those benefits are, around self-sufficiency, seamless experience, insights, etc. But I think it's that real seeing the pain points from before and seeing the improvements that have been made already that is really valuable.
Yeah. So if I just expand on what Madeline said there, essentially the current state was that they were working without a system, and they were, things like uploading courses. They had to get in touch with the IT systems, IT teams, essentially, to upload it onto the website. But now with the new experience that they have, they've got control over that. What courses they want to publish, which tutors are available, how much are the courses. So all of that is now within their gift. So, and being a small team, to liaise with other teams, it takes time and effort and energy. So having a system that is takes away the administrative burden away from, that's a massive savings from their perspective, and it brings efficiency within the team that they can do more with their time now, and that's what they've gained. And obviously from we touched upon the invoicing side of things, for instance, and costs. So if you think about course settings, for example, you talk about, courses aren't always full price. They could be discounted courses. You need to do cost centers against each course. There'll be GL codes if it's international courses. So all of those are being factored into from a system perspective that we've built. So essentially, from a benefits case perspective, already they're seeing all of that within the umbrella. Although the ROI, etc., will come in play, but essentially already they're seeing that efficiency being gained.
Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic story, and as you say, that's only going to grow stronger in terms of that ROI story over the coming few months. So I look forward to seeing how we get on with that. Madeline, Raj, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. I know you're both incredibly busy. For listeners out there that are interested in CPD or any of the other areas that we're working on with universities at the moment, you can give us a call at Crimson. there's a web page as well, info.crimson.co.uk/discovery-call. It's a bit of a mouthful, but you can just pick up the phone anyway. But we'd be more than happy to talk about that solution in a bit more detail, and also some of the Microsoft funding that's available for some of the workshops that we can run to share with you the art of the possible with Microsoft. Just coming up on the next show, Wednesday the 20th of March, another special for universities. We're going to be looking again at the Power Platform and how you are able to do more with that low code platform across the business. We have some workshops that can help with identifying where you can digitize some of those paper processes and some of those get rid of some of those Excel spreadsheets that are clogging up the system. So that's Wednesday the 20th of March. If you've enjoyed today's show, please like and subscribe. It really helps ensure other listeners can find us. Until then, we bid you a fair day. Hope the rest of your Valentine's Day goes well. I'm still looking for those cards. And until then, I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.